Hey guys, welcome back to LOI Fan TV. And yes, we're back again. Game week 12, just on the back of the Easter weekend. A lot of results to talk about and even seconds to talk about too. So yeah, once again, I'm joined by Ross. Ross, how are you?
Oh, good, Luke. Oh, good. Yeah. Can't complain too much now. Yourself, how are you? I think maybe we'll get into it properly later on, but I'd say you're a little bit nervous for this night.
Nervous. Nervous isn't the right word. I just don't want to talk about it is more the right way to put it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I suppose we'll save the best for last. But I was thinking next we might go back to forwards how the fixtures are kind of lined up. There's a lot of juicy ones on the Friday, so I might start
100%.
off Saturday with Sligo Rovers playing host to Cork City. Now, I think, in my opinion, there's lots of shock results of the weekend. Obviously, like I saw that the top half didn't win a game, which is crazy.
Crazy over two, like yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, but like in my opinion, like Sligo beating Waterford 4-0, like I don't think any of us saw that coming. And yeah, I suppose what came after, but from a Sligo perspective, happy days. Like I know they're still bottom now after losing to Derry last night, 3-0. But yeah, they're still there. You know that was a good result, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think I predicted Waterford to have to beat Sligo, obviously, and yeah, like if Sligo were to win, you would have thought, yeah, narrow they might nick it or something, but 4-0 is absolutely crazy. Um,
Outrageous,
Obviously,
yeah.
like yeah, I think we both had Sligo to finish bottom at the start of the season, and if you're looking at it now, you're thinking they're definitely with a show once they get a few lads back, like, and you're starting to feel a bit more confident about them.
You do, yeah. I just think with Sligo, like especially now, the fact that with the news of Waterford, Keith Long's been sacked, and obviously the murmurs over in Fleetwood that they might be in financial trouble as well. And then obviously the Cork striker situation, you feel a little bit more positive with Sligo. I think like if
100%.
he keeps them within touching distance and gets a few faces in the summer, I really do, as I said, I fancy John Russ as a manager, and I think, yeah, I'm growing more optimistic by the week.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worrying too much about the Derry results. Like it's obviously traveling to Waterford and then traveling to Derry is a tough few days as well in terms of travel, and it's a small enough squad as is. So I think the Waterford win was the big one, and then the Derry game was always going to be a tough one. So I wouldn't worry about that too much from them. But this is a big game now, Friday night. Big points at stake.
Yeah, and I suppose like touching off Cork, a huge win against Waterford, like two late goals. Yeah, like I remember seeing the result of 1-0, thinking, Jesus, it's really not been ideal for Cork losing the Bows and then potentially losing Waterford, but they turned it around. They won, fair play to them, and yeah, like they're up to eight now.
Yeah,
It's kind of separated itself a bit. Like if you look at that bottom three, you have Sligo in 10th on 7 points, you've Waterford in ninth on 9 points, and then Cork and eight on 10 points, and then there's 5 points then between them and Bows. So like it's kind of a
yeah.
little mini league developing down there.
I think so. I think it'll be those three kind of battling out to try and avoid that ninth and tenth, won't it? Really, I think it'd be
Yeah.
kind of you're starting to see it develop a little bit. And I think Cork will be relatively pleased with the weekend. I think the Bows result will be frustrating because I think they probably deserved a point from that. It wasn't a bad performance. It was obviously a late winner from McManus and Bows, and Bows weren't particularly great in the game. So I think Clancy was kind of rightfully frustrated at the end of the game. They probably deserved a point at least. But yeah, so important for him to turn that Waterford game around and score two late goals, I think, wasn't it? To win that one and Carl Sullivan involved in both. And yeah, he just looks the real deal. And having like a player, well, whether they can keep him for the whole season is a big question mark. I think Crystal Palace are linked with making a move from. I'm not sure if he can. I think he's 18. I think he can go over, but it'd be interesting if they can keep him even on loan or something. If they sell him and keep him on loan until the end of the season or something, because you feel he'll be very important for them.
Yeah, no, he's a great player on his day, and you just kind of he really is going to have to take the mantle for Cork now because obviously you've Shawnee Maguire and you've Rory Keaton out, so he's got to stand up, and it's a huge responsibility for like an 18-year-old to take on. But like he proved it last time out against Waterford, and yeah, this is a 6 pointer, isn't it? Like in Sligo in the
Yeah,
showgrounds. Yeah, to be honest, I'm kind of leaning toward. I just think it might be a Sligo win. I just think, especially with Cork getting the good results during the week. Sligo have obviously had a bad result, but then a good result. And I think maybe, Cork, the pressure might be off a little bit going down to Sligo. And Sligo, I think, will have a bit more oomph to get something out of this. And like if they win that game, they're potentially ahead of Cork because the goal difference is very tight. They're 3 points ahead. So yeah, I'm pretty going to
yeah,
lean towards two on Sligo.
yeah. Not a bad show. I saw Cork actually signed a striker, free agent striker from the Netherlands. I think it was in the last couple of days. Did you see that?
No, no, I haven't.
No,
No.
they actually picked up. I can't remember his name. I just kind of was kind of scrolling and it popped up for me. They signed some Dutch striker, free agent. So obviously trying to fill the gap from Keating and Maguire. So it'll be interesting to see if he's involved this weekend. And I think he can go straight into the squad. So it'll be interesting to see what he's like. Obviously, it's kind of probably a bit of a punt and see what he can do for you, if he can nick you a few goals. But yeah, I think this will be a tight one. I think I'll go for a draw. I think maybe a 1-1 here. Just both sides maybe cancelling each other out a little bit edgy, but both sides probably are a little bit leaky at the back. So I think 1-1. I think yeah,
Yeah,
stalemate.
I can see that. Yeah, I'm looking at it here. Gennaro Daniels, I think is his name.
Mm.
23-year-old Dutch forward signed a short-term deal until July. He recently played in Iceland with a team called Fram. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, I suppose. But yeah, they do
Yeah,
need a striker, didn't they? Like,
100%. Yeah, so it's worth a punt on someone like.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I suppose moving on, then we have Waterford playing host to Derry now. Jesus, Waterford's gonna be a huge talking point in this video. But yeah, I suppose we'll start with them. Like you text me the news on the weekend, I couldn't believe it. I was in shock. I know they've lost. I know Roddy Collins came out with the quote, "Oh, if you lose 6 games in a row in this league, you will lose your job." But I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Keith Long has a lot of credit in the bank. I think he
Yeah,
went in there when they were in the first division. He got them up via the playoff against a decent Cork side, and he kept them up and established them. And like, let's be honest, like if you look at the team, they've lost Connor Parsons, Sam Sargent, and
Dara
there's
Power.
definitely Dara Power, like others
Yeah,
as well, like Asamoah. Yeah, and like they haven't necessarily replaced them, and you would have thought you would have gotten to the summer and given some reinforcements because like their squad is very threadbare. So yeah, I feel very sorry for Keith Long here. What do you think?
yeah, I do too. I think it's probably the second job in a row from where there's definitely question marks about how much involvement he has in transfers and things like that. That Bowes and now at Waterford as well. I think obviously when you see a lot of English loanies coming in from your sister club or whatever, from Fleetwood or whatever, like yeah, I think he's in too much control over who they're bringing in really. Um, Obviously had a say with the likes of the Leahys and stuff on you. There is definitely question marks. Like those good few of those players haven't been up to it this season. You feel bad for him, like Matty Smith's probably one of his kind of marquee signings. He hasn't played yet this season. Obviously a long term injury. So there's a lot of places where you feel sorry for him, and we rate him. Both of us rate him very highly as one of the kind of top managers in the league. So maybe it's gone a little bit stale. Maybe that was kind of the sentiment from a lot of Waterford fans, and obviously they'd watch them week in week out more than we would. But from my perspective, I do think it is a little premature. I think he would have turned it around personally.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like I was listening to the point being made that like after they were losing their games, he was coming out and he was being like, "Look, like yeah, we weren't good enough." Like whereas maybe other managers have painted up well. If you look at the XG or
Yeah,
blah blah blah, like he didn't really jazz it up. But to be honest, I kind of respect I respect that in a manager just saying how it is and it wasn't good
yeah,
enough. But like yeah, I can't help but feel like something. I just feel like something went on behind the scenes you don't know about because it was like I think we talked last week about like who do we think could get sacked after these two fixtures and we were saying
yeah,
Reynolds and then potentially Clancy.
yeah.
Um,
It didn't
in
even
terms of
cross our mind. Like
no, no. So yeah,
it was a it
so
was it was a damning result. It wasn't like 4-0 at home
it
to Sligo.
was. Yeah,
It's one of those one where you think God, like he could be in trouble.
yeah, it was. And but to be fair, I saw that result. I didn't think though he was going to get sacked. I just
No,
thought, Jesus, great win for John Russell. Waterford be on the
yeah,
floor. That was just
yeah,
what I thought. But yeah, I suppose I'm moving on to their opponents. Derry, like two solid wins over the weekend, 3-0 win against Sligo, and then a great 3-2 away win to Galway.
yeah.
So yeah, like Tiernan Lynch is kind of turned that group around. As we kind of talked about the squad depth, like Gavin White coming in during the week and doing really well. And yeah, they're 3 points off top in sixth place. So it's looking like it's gonna be another one of those seasons kind of where
I think
everyone will
so.
be
Yeah.
tight. But yeah, kind of what have you made of Derry recent turn of form?
Yeah, no, definitely big improvements. I think Tiernan Lynch should be delighted with the last couple of games and how they've got on. Yeah, the Galway win in particular was a really good to go there and get 3 points is fantastic result. So they'll be absolutely thrilled with that. And yeah, Gavin White, I think is kind of stepping it up a little bit now. You're starting to properly see him kind of click into motion and click into gear. And I think I saw Dan McDonald tweet out saying like this is a lad that wasn't done in England. Like he just wanted to come home. He's 29. He's in the prime of his career. And to be fair, like I don't want Derry City fans to use that example as that one transfer to say, oh, our transfer business was perfect because like he was never the player that we were kind of criticizing and bringing in. Do you know what I mean? We always knew that he was a good signing. It's the other ones that we had been criticizing. So it's not a huge shock to me that he's clicking in. He's a good player. And he's probably one of the most best played players in the league realistically. So it's not a massive shock that he's starting to perform well, and he's a great player. And Derry should be competing in the top four, top five. Like that's where they need to be.
Yeah, no, spot on. Yeah, Gavin White definitely like as kind of Dan McDonald touched off in the past. He moved for £1 million to Cardiff, and then like he was playing in the championship, and then family reasons he came home. So yeah, like he's not part of the Craig Young number 75s as you
No, no, no.
allude to in the off season. There's a few others that qualify for that, but no, yeah, like you look at Derry's team, like Michael Duffy, Gavin White, and so on. Even like look at like the likes of Liam Boyce and so on, even like Pat Hooban, and you know you can go on and on and on. It's a great team.
Yeah,
And the recent turn up in form, like fair play to Tiernan Lynch, like it's a big job going in there and kind of being given a load of those kind of senior players that all probably think very highly of themselves and all want to be starting every week. Like that's a challenge in itself to manage. So I think he's kind of done a really good job to kind of turn that ship around. And
yeah,
yeah, here against Waterford, you'd probably have to fancy Derry, wouldn't you? Like managerless
yeah.
Waterford, like I'm really kind of worried for them now as far as finishing ninth or tenth. I think they're nearly, like the barring a miraculous appointments. I think if they go outside the league for maybe one of the Fleetwood lads, I think they're going to be in big trouble. So yeah,
They're rumored to be looking at your mate, Rory Higgins.
Rory Higgins. Yeah, well, this is the thing.
Yeah,
Rory Higgins being linked with Athlone as well, and then
I
next
saw
week
that. Yeah,
they're saying that there might be a takeover complete there in Athlone. So yeah, it's one of these things. Like, which team does Rory want to go to? If I was like if Waterford owners are in financial issues and potentially money might drop there, and they're looking at loan, and the other thing might be happening. You might want to go to the upward rather than the downward. So we'll see what happens there. But that'd be a
yeah,
better appointment as far as going out and getting an unknown quantity. That would make more sense to me. But yeah, here I'm going to go for a convincing Derry win here. I'm probably going to say 3-0 Derry.
yeah. I don't think you'll be too much jeopardy here for Derry. It's kind of a funny one with Waterford, isn't it? Like it's like, will they have some sort of a bounce off Long getting sacked? Obviously, they were leading in Cork for a long time, and obviously had that bit of disappointment towards the end. But will there be some sort of reaction? Sometimes there is when an interim's in place and it's a kind of a fresh new outlook and things. Maybe there will be some sort of a reaction. So maybe it won't be as easy for Derry as we kind of think potentially on paper. But as you were kind of touching on a couple of weeks ago, how Derry are kind of nearly like a one-player team with Duffy, but now at White it adds a whole new dimension to them, really, doesn't it? Like, have something else to worry about with them, so they're a much more dangerous proposition. So I will back them to win, but I think it'll be a little bit more narrower than your time. I think I'll go for 2-1 Derry, but yeah, 3 points, which will have them not far off.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then I suppose moving on, Galway and I had play host to Drogheda. Now Galway picked up 1 point from their two games over the weekend against Shells and Derry, and then yeah, Drogheda they're still top. They're still mounting along, and they'll all draw with
Yeah,
Pats on Monday, and then before that the two all draw at home to Shells. So look, they're not losing games, and the teams around them aren't winning. So like it's some star for Drogheda. I'm really impressed.
yeah, no, 100%. It was a big kind of test from of their metal, like this like the weekend just gone, and obviously dropped points, but didn't lose the games, which is important. And obviously, it's been helped by the teams around them not picking up any points either. So yeah, they'll be delighted. I think if you had offered Kev Doherty 2 points from those two games, I think he would have been happy enough. He would have shook your hand on that and said fair enough. So seconds 0-0 at Pats this season, so they're tipping away nicely. Like it's not, I don't, it's gone past the point of being like a fluky jammy start. I think it's like they probably are competing for a European place. I still think a title talk is premature, and I don't think it's realistic per se. Um, but maybe people said that about Shells last year, and it's just, and they just kept going, and then just eventually did it. So, but I do think it'd be more of a European battle for third or fourth in the end, because it is so tight. Like a couple of poor results, and they're back down to fifth or sixth. So, this is a big test for them too as well, going to Galway, who are always a tough side. So this will be another big test for their credentials.
It will be, yeah. I think the Galway would be kind of a good point to talk on Monday, but before that, like I said, it would have been very disappointed losing to Derry, and
Mm.
like I touched off it before, like I really have a lot of time for Drogheda, and I hope they get Europe again. But if I was kind of to pick a team outside, the three behind them, other than Shells, Rovers, and Pats, I probably would say Galway. To be honest, I just think they're really shaped up well. I really like the look of them. I think like Johnny Coffey was touching on it there in an interview, he was saying, look, like last season we didn't have goals. Now we've and Moses Dyer, we're conceding maybe too many goals, but we've way more going forward. So yeah, I could see to be honest, I could easily go for a draw here again, but I'm going to put my neck on the line. I'm going to go towards a 1-0 Galway win.
Yeah, yeah. Just touching on what you're talking about there, uh, we were asking, well, you asked on Instagram for people if they had any questions or thoughts or talking points they wanted to touch on in this week's video. And we had someone ask, S. O'Neill asked, Moses Dora to finish top goal scorer this season and Galway to finish in Europe. Thoughts?
Possible, isn't it? It's possible. Like, well, he has like
Mm,
11 caps for New Zealand. Like, I think clubs in the league will have to scratch their head and think, how weren't we aware of this lad? Like, and it's just a testament to Caulfield and Horgan's recruitment. Yeah, well within the realms of possibility. What do you think?
Do you know what it is as well? Because I saw people saying that he, like a Pats or a Shells or whoever it is, needs to go in and sign him and then they'll win the league or whatever. And I was just thinking about it. Like Shells have Meepo, Boyd, Martin, so they don't really need a striker. Pats have Keena, Melia, Carthy. They don't really need a striker. Yous have Green, Gaffney. Like he's a kind of stocked enough, aren't you, up front?
Noonan.
Maybe use it Noonan
We
exactly. Yeah,
need a
so
striker, but yeah.
maybe use are the one that could potentially look at doing the deal for him. But I think I could see him playing at Galway for the season and to keep him for the year, keep him fit. Like his performance at Talker Park was unbelievable. Like the way he took his two goals, you see them. Like it was just such clinical finishing. It was unbelievable. Like it's rare you see a finisher like that in the League of Ireland. Like his goal in Daily Mount a few weeks ago, like it's next level. Like he could hit 20 potentially 20 15 20 goals this season, probably 20 maybe you're looking at.
Yeah. No, I know he's a cracking player. Yeah, as I said, I think it's really impressive the fact that they went to the champions on Monday and they got a draw from the game and like he got 2 goals. I'm really impressed by Galway. I know Drogheda are top, but I just think Galway are they're going to hit their levels. They're going to keep on hitting their levels rather than maybe Drogheda might drop off.
Yeah, yeah. Do you predict? Did you get a prediction for
Yeah,
this? Did you go for
I lean towards a 1-0 Galway win.
1-0 Galway win? I could actually see another draw potentially.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe Galway to nick it. Yeah, maybe I'll back that 2-1 Galway. I think draw to have to lose eventually. I think their luck will run out eventually. Uh, yeah, I'll go 2-1 Galway.
Cool. Yeah, so moving on to one of the two Dublin derbies taking place on Friday.
I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them. Sick of these Dublin derbies.
They're every week, isn't it? And their
Yeah,
handles are like Dublin Derby, Dublin
yeah,
Derby.
yeah.
Like
Every
Jesus,
point on
give us
every
a,
video. Like.
give us a break. And we Bohemians in Daily Mo taking on St Patrick's Athletic. Yeah, Bows 6 points from Friday and Monday, and then Pats 2 draws in a row. Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, 2 draws in a
yeah.
row. So yeah, potentially Bows are in form here against a Pats that are just team. They're just motoring along. It's still second to be fair.
Well,
But
there's
yeah.
no better man to tell us about St. Pat's and Bohemians this week than you. You played them both last weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, we did indeed. Yeah, I suppose touching off Pats first. Yeah, I wasn't that impressed by Pats to be honest. Like, I know, I think they would have been happy with their draw. Obviously we nicked it late on, and then they got their goal back. But like for 60, 70 minutes of that game, we were the better team. We probably should have been out of sight in the first half. Graham Burke had 2 really good chances. He should be at least scoring one. And Nang, to
Yeah,
be fair to him, like Vinny Pert was touching off it. I saw best goalie in the league. He's calling them. And like I look at him and I think, he has a few holes in his game, but then there's some saves that he makes that just I don't think any other keeper in the league makes. So like it's a fair shout to be fair.
he
But
made
yeah,
a great one from Meepo a couple of weeks ago as well.
yeah, I remember that. That literally
Yeah,
was the Graham Burke one was very similar to that. So like
yeah,
he's very good, and yeah, just Pats, yourself. I was a bit underwhelmed by them to be honest. I
yeah,
thought like I was delighted with the draw. If you would offer me that before the game, I would have taken it. But it's just how the draw happened. Like we were the better team, and we in theory
sickening.
probably should have won the game. But yeah, and then moving on to Bows, that was just a game of 2 halves. Like in the first half, it was kind of like there one stage Rovers fans and Bowls fans were both singing "You're getting sacked in the morning" to Alan
Yeah.
Reynolds. And then
Do
just
you
in the
know? Do you
second,
know what I thought though in the first half? I was watching it on the Virgin Media Player, which is dodgy now, so it was kind of
mm,
I was in and out of the stream now.
mm.
But I thought up until you scored the first goal that Bows actually weren't playing too badly.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
I thought they
But
were
I
doing all
just
right.
like when I went 2-0, like I just looked like the life got sucked out of Bowes, and you're thinking,
Yeah,
geez,
yeah,
be
yeah,
3, 4, 5, and then and like obviously the stuff around Alan Reynolds, and halftime comes, and you're thinking, yeah, just see this out, get a few more goals potentially. But Rower should have stayed in the dressing room. Honestly, it was terrible. It was so bad. It was shocking how I don't think I've seen us play that bad in a half. I'm trying to
it,
recall, like it
yeah,
was terrible. Like it was so
yeah.
bad. To see the
Soft underbelly, like.
Oh, I was just shocked. Like you could feel it coming as well, and I thought the fans were kind of getting a bit annoyed that we didn't make a change. But we kind of put out a rotate. We can't, to be honest, I think we lost that game because we didn't respect Bowes enough. Like if you looked at our bench, we had Burke, we had Gaffney, we had Grant, and we kind of like rotated a bit more, and maybe I thought we should have. And it kind
Yeah,
of got to a point in the second half where we should have been making changes, and Bradley was kind of holding out like one eye on shells, and I think it cost us. And by the time we made the changes, the tide had already turned. Bowes had already got their goal. And yeah, like
the
fair play.
momentum was going like.
Yeah, like Reece Brennan, like he had Adam Matthews on toast. He was
Mm.
unbelievable, like very good player. Like I was reading there, what was he DDSL 18 months ago? Like
Yeah, that's great,
crazy,
isn't it? It's cool to see.
crazy.
Like,
Like
it's good to
it's
see
great
if
to
you're
see.
doing
It goes to
that.
show because
Yeah,
obviously now we've the underage league of Ireland, like the age groups and stuff. But it's great to see someone come from the traditional route of the DDSL or you know.
100%.
But yeah. Here I suppose it's an interesting one. Like even though like on paper and kind of like you'd expect Pats to beat Bows. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if this was another draw. I'm probably going to go 2-all. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah, to be fair credit to Alan Reynolds for kind of, in a way, in a sense, for the changes he's made and for getting the two wins, I suppose. But I think the Cork game they didn't play well, and I think that kind of was reflected by the fans chanting getting sacked in the morning. And I think this narrative has switched big time. Like I don't think 20 minutes of football should change a narrative completely. I don't think he's lost his dressing room per se, Alan Reynolds, but I still don't think he's like the right fit. And I think people coming out and saying, oh, he's getting all these people saying he's saying Alan Reynolds out, and people are laughing at that and stuff. Like, I don't think I still don't think he's going to last too much longer. I think like this is just that was a flash in the pan. Like that was a bit of a madness that second half, and both have good players, so they can turn on at certain times. Like, but I still don't think Alan Reynolds is the right fit long term for the club. Um, do they win this game? I think Pat's got stadium to beat them. To be honest, I think they're a much better side, and they'll be able to control the game, control the ball. I think Rovers, that was a shambolic second half, and maybe you're right. They're kind of a little bit of complacency nearly, but going 2-0 up and everything. Even probably the fans in the stand were a bit complacent. Yeah, I think Pat's got the Daily Man to win 2-0.
Fair. And here's a question for you: if the managerial change happens in Dalymount Park, would you take Heat Long back?
What did they say? Never go back, but then never. What you see, kind of David Moyes going back, kind of reminds me of something like that. David Moyes going back to West Ham and doing well there and stuff, and go back to Everton now and doing well. That's what it kind of reminds me of a little bit, actually. Um, I think he'd be better option than Alan Reynolds till the end of the season, even, and then go from there and maybe look for new options and give him a deal until the end of the season. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? As you
Like, I
say,
think
never go
Alan
back.
Reynolds has bought himself some time, by the way, 100% with that win. A few
Yeah,
more
no,
weeks at least.
definitely has. Definitely. That was a huge win for him, and you got to see what it meant to him a full time. Yeah, it's a tough one. Like I've seen Bowes fans campaign for it, and I've also seen Bowes fans say, "No, let's not do it." Ideally, you'd probably want to go into pastures new, but if you never know, you just don't know what happens in this league. Like if John Russell leaves Sligo tomorrow, which I'm not saying will happen, but like if something like that happens, then
Bradley's gone. Bradley's gone, and Rovers are after him.
exactly. Exactly, yeah. But you just don't know. But as of right now, if you were to sack Alan Reynolds right now, I'd probably say Keith Long, yeah. And I'm a Keith Long fan. I like Keith Long. I think he did a really good job for us on Bows. I know he didn't win a trophy, but he had his teams eaten alive every off season.
Yeah,
So like it wouldn't be the worst of him, would it? I think certainly he would deserve a short term deal to see what he could do with those players, and then if that was good, I think a longer term. But sure, look, Alan Reynolds is still at the wheel, and the
yeah.
show goes on. But yeah, finally moving on to sorry, did I get a prediction of you for the Bows Pats game?
I went 2-0, Pat.
Pats, cool.
What do you say?
I went 2
A
all.
draw. 2-0. Yeah.
2 all, yeah. But yeah, moving on to the final game, Dublin Derby number two. Shamrock Rovers versus Shelbourne, Luke
Mm-hmm.
versus Ross. So yeah, this is an interesting one, isn't it? Like obviously
Is.
yourself got points at home, as did we on Monday. And then on Friday you drew again, and we drew. So kind of pair of us we're just kind of motoring along in second gear, aren't we? Like
Yeah, the thing with Shells is, which is kind of funny, is that we're actually playing really, really well at the moment. Like the performances we're putting in are arguably better than last season.
mm,
It's just there is a massive, massive Paddy Barrett shaped sized hole at the back at the moment with his injury. And I think Lewis Temple stood out as well, which is the kind of ideal backup. And Sam Bone, as we touched on before, just doesn't do it for me. Trying to play Mark Coyle centre half and stuff. You're going to concede goals. So like if you had to tell me that we go to Galway and sorry that we go to Drogheda, score twice, and not get 3 points, I'd be shocked. And if you tell me that we'd play at home to Galway, score twice, and not get the 3 points, I'd be shocked again. Do you know what I mean? We're scoring goals now. It's just keeping them out. So definitely a concern and something to figure out. But we're playing well. We're playing well, which is the kind of frustrating part about it a little bit. And that we're not getting the results. But I feel confident that it will come. I think the signings are bedding in well. As Chapman's up and running, playing well. Kerr McEnroe is flying. His new contract already. He's doing really well. One of the best midfielders in the league now already, I think. And Meepo is starting to kind of get it together as well. So the signings are looking good. It's just getting Paddy Barrett back into the team, or Lewis Temple. Is going to make a huge difference. But yeah, massive game going to Tala yourselves. Obviously, a bit of a messy one.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like not winning on Monday makes this a huge game for us.
Yeah,
The fact that even getting a draw makes this a huge game for us. I think we need to win. I think it's not a like Rovers are a funny one because when we're on it, we're very good, and when we're not on it, we're sloppy. And I think we'll treat this almost like a European tie. I think the players will be on it to be good to go. And like, look, if you actually look at the stats, like we've kept a fair few clean sheets this season. When we're on it, I think we will be on it. I think Bradley will be looking for a reaction, like the fact he took off Jack Byrne after 65 minutes. And then the fact that Graham Burke was rested, Gaffney was rested, Grant was rested. So we're going to be fresh enough heading into this game. So like, yeah, even though like if I was the basis of the second half of Monday, I obviously could probably say we'd lose, but look,
yeah.
that's not going to happen again. Being realistic, barring a disaster. But yeah, I just think Rovers will have enough here. Just to barely scrape it. I'm going to go like a 1-0. I just think it'll be a tight game. We might just have a little bit, and especially with Paddy Barr not there for years, I think we might take advantage of that.
Yeah, yeah. I will be worried about Shamrock Rovers now. If Josh Honohan, as he's expected to leave in the summer, like he's such an important player for you, isn't he? Like if he goes in summer, he's in big trouble, especially not replacing kind of Dara Burns and stuff. I suppose you could say that Danny Grant came in, but just a lot of players just lost. I think we can go there and get a result. I think Shells can go there definitely capable of getting a result. I think the midfield battle will be huge. Kind of your Matt Healy's, Dylan Watts, who else has been in there feels like the Aaron
Jack
McInnes
Byrne.
maybe. Jack Byrne.
Aaron has an injured at the moment, but yeah,
Is
it's
it?
those three.
Yeah, those up against kind of Kerr McEnroe. Maybe be interesting to see if Ellis Chapman's in there, Lunny, or if Mark Coyle can come back in or something. So it's going to be a big kind of midfield battle, I feel, and who can get out on top there. I think you maybe have the better kind of technical players, whereas we have maybe the more industrious, hardworking ball winner type. So it's going to be a good little battle to see who can come out on top. We had a decent result, decent record at Tala last year. I think we beat us once and maybe drew once, did we?
No, we beat you.
Oh, so you beat us towards the end, didn't you? Yeah, you beat us towards the end, so 1-1. I think I'll go for a 1-1 draw here. I think it'll be tight, but I think both sides are well capable of conceding a goal. Both sides definitely capable of scoring a goal, so I go 1-1.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I'm going to lean towards a 1-0 Rovers win here. I suppose a question for you as well. This is kind of came to my mind as you were talking about kind of your like industrious midfielder, so to speak. Like playing Bows on Monday, like they've Dawson Devoy, they've Ross Tierney, Niall Morahan. Like, would you make an argument that Bows have a technically better midfield than Chelsea on paper?
It's hard to say, isn't it? Because I
Well,
think,
I'm looking at your
yeah,
stats, right? And you're having 80%, 75%, which would suggest your players are very technical, but you're like alluding to them as industrious. So I'm just wondering, like will you surrender the ball in Tala? Like,
uh, I don't know. Yeah, but I saw a stat that we have the best pass accuracy in the league as well. So maybe I'm being a little bit harsh by kind of nailing them down as industrial. Because Ellis Chapman is a beautifully technical footballer, to be fair, and he can score from distance. He can do it all. Karen McEnroe is obviously an industrious player, get around the pitch, but he's very good on the ball as well. But he's more, I can still see him as more of a tackler. Then Lunny is a ball player as well, to be fair. So maybe that's a kind of a harsh assessment. But I do see them as kind of Mark Coyles and stuff. You know, it is a kind of there's a nice blend of it in there. I think a little bit of both, which is what you need. Um, yeah, I think probably Dawson Devoy. I don't know. I wouldn't consider Tierney maybe in that position. I think he's more of a kind of forward, probably, isn't he? I
number
consider him
10.
as yeah, that kind of thing. So maybe, but I think Dawson Devoy probably gets into the team. You'd fit him in somehow. I'm not sure about Morahan, but I think you'd fit Dawson Devoy in somehow anyway.
Yeah, because like I was even also wonder like how technically good kind of bows were in those tight areas. Like it's
Yeah,
just it really ties in with them
but
underperforming.
yeah, but we dominated them when we played them in Talca. So it's a hard one. It's a hard one, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, no, it is a hard one, but yeah, that'll be an interesting one. But yeah, so guys, there we have it. That's our Game Week 12 League for Premier Division predictions. As I said, if you're new, please subscribe and yeah, leave a like, guys. Let's try to get to 25 this week. And yeah, as I said, give us your predictions in the comments and let us know what you think about all the things we discussed above. And yeah, catch us next time. Cheers, Ross.
thanks, many guys. Thanks, Luke.